Yeah,
no. I got 6 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Last Jason Stewart, give me some prayer, please. Bow your heads with the caps. So, Heavenly Father, we come before you this time, Lord. We thank you for this day. Thank you for the beautiful sunshine, Lord. We ask, God, that you would touch each and every one here, Lord, that you would lead, God, and direct us counsel as we do business for the city, that we may do things that are edifying you, God. We ask that you keep your hands on our soldiers abroad and all of our emergency personnel. We ask all of this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, I'll call the meeting to order by asking Ms. Polly for a roll call, please.
Brett Parker.
Here.
Bonnie Winkle. Here. Brandon Schrader.
Here.
Ernie Lane.
Here.
John Paul Thompson.
Here.
Jason Stewart.
Here.
Billy Poe.
Here.
Carol Roach. Here. And Anita Robinson. Here. Cindy Wood. Here.
We've got you've got a copy of the minutes from the February meeting in your packet. I'll give you just a minute to look over them, and I'll entertain a motion to approve. Jason Stewart made a motion to approve. Second. Ernie Lynn, second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed is no. Minutes stand approved. Financial reports also in your packet. And I'll leave you to look over it and entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Cindy Wood made a motion to approve. Second. Jason Stewart, second. Any discussion? If not, financial report stands approved as well. Department reports. Chief Redmond.
2 weeks ago, the FBI, along with the police department, took down the biggest drug organization in Poinsett County history. We're pretty proud of that. It was a 3-year-long investigation that included wiretaps as well as undercover buys that we were actively involved in. We have an agent assigned to the 2nd District Drug Task Force that he was the one spearheading this investigation. When it comes to working with the FBI, they don't release a whole lot of information to the public, when they make these releases. So until they tell us we can release all of the names, then we'll do that in the future. But whenever the FBI comes in, that day was unbelievable. I mean, we had helicopters up, we had SWAT teams all the way from Jackson, Mississippi. We had a lot of booze. There was a lot of flashbangs being thrown, and I tell you, it's pretty special to us that they would take the time to have that show of force here, because we wanted to send a message to the drug dealers that Trumann PD is not going to mess around. We're going to put you in federal time, and what the good thing about Fed time is they do 100% of that. So they get 20 years, they do all 20, and so that's what we got here. So it's no more revolving door where we put them in and they'll stay for 6 weeks and then they come out. So we're super proud of those arrests, and our department and people with our department coordinated with the Poinsett County Sheriff's Office, West Memphis, Marion, Gulfport Police Department, 2nd District Task Force. I mean, it was an effort. With ICE was there, the DEA was there. I mean, it was an unbelievable effort, and all right here for little old Trumann. And I was in one of the groups, and me and one of the other agents there from Jonesboro, we were the only ones that ever been to Trumann. These guys, these FBI places, they've never even been to Trumann. And so, but they come down to make sure that we got those arrests and everything went good. So we're super proud of that. And other than that, we've been continuing to work hard. Sometimes when you cut what we call cut the head off the snake of a drug organization, somebody else is going to try to step up. So we're going to step up in the near future. We're stepping up our enforcement even more to make sure that the citizens of Trumann are safe. So outside of that,
questions? I don't see Chief Kemper. This is Chief Blackwood.
The station's coming along good. Got the flagpoles up. Obviously, grand opening's going to be April 3rd. Other than that, we're rolling.
The white panels are gone.
The white panels are gone. I forgot. The white panels are gone forever. No more white panels.
When you want me to start moving in, Bo?
So the superintendent, we talked to him today. Hopefully by the end of next week, the first of the week after, we should start getting to put furniture. Supposed to be moved in 2 weeks on Tuesday. 2 weeks from this Tuesday. And then from there, it's just kind of getting everything together and moving everything in. So we're headed in the right direction, slowly but surely. We're ready for it to be done, just like y'all are, I promise.
Got a trailer in the truck. I need help, Holly.
Thank you.
Mr. Bailey?
Don't really have anything. Just like everybody else, it's busy. Spring is upon us, and we're trying to get stuff fixed up, cleaning out ditches, trying to drain water, fixing potholes, fixing leaks, trying to keep the water and sewer running, and all that. Hopefully, everything's going well. If it's not, ask me, and I'll tell you why I think it's not. So unless you have any questions, I'm good. Okay.
My water's still clear.
All right. I'm glad.
Mr. Campbell's not here. He called me a little bit ago. He got back from the doctor. We've got several funding sources that are opening up with grants and some forgivable loans that we kind of discussed a little bit already. So he's working on that. 2 new park grants is about to open. A grant with no match up to $100,000 we can use for ball fields and different things like that. RDOT's TAP grant for phase 2 at Sunken Ranch Trail. We're about ready to apply for that. And a range of funding opportunities that we'll be looking at over the next little bit. Committee reports. I know we've had Personnel Policy Committee meeting, and we also had a Public Works Committee meeting, and we'll discuss both of those when we get into the new business. Ward reports.
One thing, just like I said earlier about the dumpsters on Virginia and Harris, said you didn't see that. Thanks, sir.
Don't have any unfinished business. New business. First up is resolution number 1283. The Personnel Policy Committee met and agreed to make a change out at 1283. And I'm going to ask Ms. Toddy if you read the resolution, please.
A resolution amending the personnel policies and procedures handbook of the City of Trumann, Arkansas regarding the take-home vehicle policy. Whereas the City of Trumann, Arkansas maintains the personal policies and procedure handbook to provide guidelines for city employees, and whereas the City Council of Trumann finds it necessary to amend Section 6.12.6, paragraph 1 on page 38 of the handbook to update the policy on take-home vehicles to ensure a more effective response to emergencies. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, that Section 6.12.6, paragraph 1 on page 38 of the Personnel Policies and Procedure Handbook is hereby amended to read as follows. In an effort to provide a mechanism for rapid response in the event of an emergency, eligible employees may be permitted to take home a city-owned vehicle. City employees who live within 10 driving miles of the nearest Trumann city limit line are eligible for the take-home program. In circumstances where it is imperative that an employee have a take-home vehicle for emergency purposes, such as holding a position with the city where their arrival time is vital, the employee may have a take-home vehicle if they live outside that 10-mile limit, but only with pre-approval of both the department head and the mayor. Section 2, that this amendment shall take effect immediately upon passage and approval by the City Council.
Do Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we table it till we get some better clarification from the municipal league on what we need to do.
Second.
Motion made to set to table resolution number 1283, second by John Paul Thompson, second by Bonnie Winkle. Any discussion on that?
I have a question. Can I ask a question about it? Okay. On the policy committee. My question is where it talks about somebody holding a position where their arrival time is vital. I know we have like named the CID officer, which is necessary, obviously. I mean, are we talking about just particular positions here, or?
If they
It wasn't quite clear to me, that's why.
Yeah, it's like it says, their arrival time is vital.
Which would basically mean any officer, would it not?
No.
Do we need to clarify that, or?
That's that kind of stuff that would clarify the department head and the mayor's approval.
Well, yeah.
That, and it was discussed in the personnel policy meeting that it would be vital, again, vital positions. Even CID was actually mentioned, plus drug task force was
Yeah.
actually mentioned in that as well. So that's the only two we got that feel outside.
I was just, like I said, I wasn't part of it, so I didn't know what went on.
I think the biggest thing on that was the fact that it says radius. And John Paul made a comment about the radius, is that could actually live in almost a panto, again, 10-mile radius, which that again that don't make sense. And he's got a valid point in that, so that's why we changed it
To the wording.
10-mile driving distance. So,
Is there any certain clarification that we're needing from the municipal league? Just curious. Is there any certain clarification that we need from the municipal league? No, we just want to make sure before we pass it, we get everything in there we need.
I would kind of need some clarification. We discussed it with our attorney, Gavin, way about that as well. And is what he agreed to, and that's the resolution was brought in.
I think we just need a little bit more time on it.
We've got a motion and a second. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote. Ms. Toddy?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
Motion second to table this, is that right?
Yes.
Or stay.
Making sure I understood.
If we vote yes, that means we won't table
Then
it.
you want that?
Okay.
Brett Parker. Bonnie Winkles. 4. Brandon Schrader.
4.
Ernie Lane.
4.
John Paul Thompson.
4.
Jason Stewart.
4.
Billy Poe.
4.
Tara Roach. 4. Candida Robinson.
No.
Cindy Wood.
No.
So the motion to table, and I'm not sure, I guess I'll need some clarification or some questions that y'all need answered. So we can take it to the municipal league if it's something to take. I don't know, again, what it is.
I have a question. This was made a comment to come to meeting. Are we allowed to go to either committee meeting? Okay. That's what I'm
Meetings are open
I
to
didn't
the public.
I didn't know. That's one. Can we be notified of them?
They are put on the city website calendar.
Okay.
All those will be put on there.
Okay.
And of course, the committee members themselves are
Okay.
notified.
Thank you.
There's nothing else on that, then that resolution is tabled. Next is ordinance number 742, 2, the Public Works Committee met and discussed the proposal and proposed contract from Performance Services about replacing the old water meters with new AMI meters. We've been discussing this here in the council for a few months, and the committee unanimously recommends us contracting with PSI to perform the update. The committee also unanimously recommends that this be paid for upfront for the infrastructure fund. This would save the city approximately $700,000 in finance fees. Ms. Potty, you can read the ordinance, please.
And the ordinance approving a contract between the City of Trumann, Arkansas and Performance Services Incorporated for the installation of new AMI water meters as energy conservation measures for Trumann Water Works, authorizing payment from the infrastructure fund and declaring an emergency. Whereas the City of Trumann, Arkansas seeks to enhance the efficiency and accuracy of water usage measurement by installing new solid-state water meters compatible with existing AMI systems for the remainder of Trumann Water Works customers who do not already have the new meters, and whereas the Performance Services Incorporated, located at 670 Haven Point Boulevard, Indianapolis, Indiana, in accordance with State Statute 14-58-104, has proposed a contract in accordance with the interlocal purchasing system to provide and install these meters as an energy conservation measure. And whereas the contract price for the installation of the meters is $1,126,368.00, and paying cash for this project will save the city approximately $700,000 in interest over a 20-year long term. And whereas the contract includes total annual guaranteed energy and operational savings to the city in the amount of $59,702. And whereas PSI will monitor the energy savings for up to 20 years at a cost of $2,000 per year, with the city retaining the right to terminate the monitoring service at any time. And whereas the first year of monitoring is included in the upfront contract price, and whereas the Public Works Committee has reviewed and recommended approval of this contract, and whereas an emergency is hereby declared to exist and that it is necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, and safety to ensure the immediate implementation of these water meters to improve accuracy and operational efficiency. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, that the City of Trumann, Arkansas hereby approves the contract with Performance Services Incorporated for the installation of new solid-state water meters compatible with a system for the remainder of Trumann Water Works customers who do not already have the new meters, as outlined in the proposal. Section 2, that the total contract price of $1,126,368.00 shall be paid in full from the infrastructure fund. Section 3, that the City of Trumann acknowledges the total amount guaranteed energy operational savings of $59,702 and optional monitoring service at a cost of $2,000 per year, which may be terminated at the city's discretion. Section 4, that the mayor and city clerk are hereby authorized and directed to execute any necessary documents to effectuate the contract with Performance Services Incorporated. Section 5, emergency clause. It is hereby found and determined that the immediate implementation of this ordinance is necessary for the public peace, health, and safety of the residents of Trumann, Arkansas. Therefore, an emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force immediately upon its passage and approval.
Do I hear a motion to approve? Jason Stewart made a motion. Second.
Second.
Is that Cindy? Cindy Wood made a motion, or made a second. Any discussion?
Do we have in our infrastructure fund?
It's over $1 million. Enough to pay for this. We had $75,000 before, so it's getting to build back up quickly.
My question is, what happens? Our main issue right now is the mixing station for the water filtration. What happens when we deplete our infrastructure fund and that mixing station goes out and we don't have the money to fix it? I'm just saying until we get the water treatment plant up and running.
You either get the loan for this, or you get the loan for that.
Because
I mean, that's what it's at.
my question is, we're fixing to spend $1.2 million roughly on it, and we're saving $59,000. Do we have any reports that show how much? I mean, we just got online with these new water meters a year and a half ago. Do we have any kind of independent testing that shows how much it saved the city?
The report was done by them, brought to you and brought to council to look at where they actually pulled the meters and tested and determined how much it was going to save. And they guarantee this savings. That's in the contract. If it doesn't have the savings, it's
That's my only issue.
to me, first of all, saving $700,000 up front makes a whole lot of sense. We're talking about your money, my money, and everybody else's taxpayer money, that we're saving almost $1 million basically. And then you look at the $59,000, roughly almost $60,000 we're saving a month on this, then that's even more compatible to going into what we got. We've got $75,000 every quarter going into the infrastructure fund, so it's going to build back, pretty quick. So, which that's part of what that fund was built for to start with, was to use situations like this for infrastructure.
So where are these meters that we're gonna change? Where are they gonna be? I mean, what meters are,
All of the rest of the meters that are in Trumann and Rural and Payne that we have.
Do we know a number of how many meters there is?
About 1,100, something like that.
Count. Yeah, there's different meter sizes. It's 1,218 residential meters, 30 1-inch water meters, 4 1.5-inch meters, 19 2-inch, and 5 3-inch. So about 1,300.
What's the lifespan on this meter?
Their 20-year battery life.
So we did the financials with the Public Works Committee. Over a 20-year period, you're looking to be net positive by about $321,033. That's after the cost of the project. So from revenue, from increased meter accuracy, the capital cost of avoidance, and the operational and maintenance savings that the city will realize, that's where you're getting that number after the cost of the project itself. So it's budget neutral, and the energy savings are in our contract guarantee. If they don't materialize, that's where our measuring and verification come from. We're going to be out here testing these meters again and monitoring the system to make sure that those savings actually materialize. We're on the hook for those if they don't. Also in our contracts, a no change order policy. If you experienced, it's written into our contract, Article 9, I think. That is the cost of the project. If we've made a mistake in the cost and it ends up costing us more, we eat that. It's written in our contract and been seen by the city.
Do we know how much money it costs the city to do the initial inside?
Do what now?
The initial project inside the city. Do we know how much that costs?
I'm sure we do. I haven't looked at it. We've done it before. I put it on. I'm pretty sure it was over the next project.
I apologize, I'm just behind on this project in general, but this has kind of been ongoing for a little bit, a couple of administrations. Have we appropriated any money for this before?
Well, the ones inside the city that were Trumann Water Works that were done, we actually, I think they're being paid for through a bond or through, no, they were paid many we had, you remember?
I'm thinking 2,500 maybe, something like that. I think,
Something like that.
before my time.
Seems like the budget for that. Again, I'm operating off memory.
I think that 1.5, but that included the city building we built in with that too. The waterworks building that's down there. I think that included that.
That was done. What I understand from that building, coming up the storage building down the waterworks, my understanding of that was actually paid for using insurance money, if I'm not mistaken.
Has there already been a contract that's drawn up?
Yeah, Mr. Gasaway has gone over it with a finance firm. It will be discussed with Arkansas Municipal League to make sure that everything is done right. Nothing hidden point or anything like that.
The only thing that I have with it, I've checked in, and it's a very reputable company. They've got 2-3 places in Texas that I've seen that they've worked with. Do y'all have any in Arkansas that y'all have?
So in Arkansas, our municipal space is a little bit newer. We do have contracts that projects that are starting up in South Arkansas, others on the way. We've done a lot of colleges, a lot of higher ed, and a lot of schools today. Provided references at different points in the project to Public Works Committee, the mayor, and to James. But we can get you those references if you need to see them. But this is something we do regularly.
And I apologize if y'all already know some of this stuff. I'm just trying
If you want me to bring it up to speed, so today, what we've done, our process started with preliminary analysis, where it's no cost, no obligation to the city. In that process, Robert Gandy, our engineer, we took what you pumped, what you sold, and figured out your water loss. So the city of Trumann has a significant amount. You got a lake of water that's going somewhere. This project, by replacing these meters, will help overcome some of the lost revenue water. So the water goes through an old meter. That's money you're spending to produce and treat that water, but then it's going through the meter and it's not being billed. And with Act 605 coming in, you've got your rate study coming up. They're going to look at Trumann's total spend and total incomes for your water department. And they're going to determine what the city's rate needs to be. So by getting rid of this unaccounted for revenue for this portion, this project will help reduce some of that. It will also, down the road, reduce the amount of the rate increase from Act 605. So this is helping the citizens in the long run.
And would they have the accessibility to the apps and all the things that they can log in?
Yeah, so right now,
where they're at, their specific meter?
Correct. So the customers that this project is being proposed for are ones that don't currently have access to that. So the majority of Trumann Water Works is tied into an existing AMI system. These are working outside of that. So these will integrate into your existing system and give those customers access to all the benefits of that everybody else in the city has. After we did our preliminary, we came out and we did an IGA for investment grade audit. The city signed a letter of intent with a walkaway fee, where if we can meet what we think, which we did, that says the benefits are actually there. We had a third party test them and send back. We made those results available to James. And to my knowledge, you've looked through all of those today, right? Yeah. So based on those results is where we're producing the revenue guarantee, or the revenue gains that we're going to guarantee.
Gotcha. I think it's a great program. It's obviously the installation's expensive, we'd expect, but it does seem like it's got a lot of benefits. The only thing I have a problem with the ordinance itself is just the declaring of emergency. I get that maybe 3 readings is maybe overkill. I don't know, just coming in from my standpoint, and then just thinking that probably there's some out here or out in the city that's probably looking at this for the first time that might have some questions. So
The declaring of the emergency part came in, one, because we've been discussing it for about 5 months, 6 months now, and they are ready
ago, we've got a walk-away clause, which the council approved. And we actually prefer not to walk away, but this is very beneficial to the city. It's going to be financially better for the city from here on. So we're going to be saving the amount of money that's guaranteed. It's not more. In all honesty, I think we'll probably save more. We've got meters that are over 60 years old that probably not count 10% of what the water is going to do. So obviously, the sooner we do it, the more money we're going to save.
I agree.
It's not the emergency clause. It's not we're trying to slide anything through. We're trying to hide anything. We're trying to get it done so we can start saving money faster. And again, like having to have the water study done, the rate study done. If this is not done, and the rate study is done, or this is not done before the rate study, then the rate study is going to say that we're going to have to raise our water rates a whole lot more. If the rate study is done after these are put in, then we won't. The water rates won't have to go up here as much. Water rates are going to have to go up. That has absolutely nothing to do with us. That's the state of Arkansas. But it will have a determination on how much we can save, on how much it goes up by being able to get this done sooner than later.
Sorry, one more question. So I saw 2,000 annually for the next lifetime of the, is that correct for the auditor?
That's the measuring verification. So in the ordinance, I think Scotty read that you guys are reserving the right to cancel that at any time. So we did the investment grade audit with a third party to determine the savings. After the installation, we'll come back out after a certain amount of time. We'll order a test or
we'll do another meter accuracy test to prove that they are 100% accurate. So, and show you all those and so share them with you. The state law just requires that the first year be included, or that you do it for at least 1 year. After that, you're free to cancel it. But,
and again, just speaking plainly, I always tell customers, keep it for 2 to 5 years. The guarantee lasts as long as you keep that. Because in order to guarantee it, we have to have access to the information. So if we see a problem, something I said to the Public Works Committee, we want to give you white glove service. So if there's a problem with any of the installations, we're going to get back out and fix that. That's not something he has to do. That's something we need to take responsibility for if it relates back to us. As long as we're doing that measure of verification, it gives us the ability to prevent a problem from growing where we have this huge financial liability. So, which is beneficial to you and beneficial to us. But speaking plainly, I always recommend customers keep it for 2 to 5 years. After that, if everything's going like you want, you can, but you can also keep it. It's like an insurance policy. And that's something that's paid out, that $2,000 after. It's not included in the cost.
And we're currently not doing this for the ones that's already been installed.
You would have had to done it for at least a year. To his point about Arkansas legislation, but that wasn't our project, so I got you. Okay.
And again, that was brought in before me, so
Sure. Well, I think that just goes back to my hesitancy on declaring an emergency. I've seen at times, maybe not, can't specifically say for this administration, but in other administrations where we have kind of went and just kind of headed on this declared emergency, and I think we at least need 2 or 3 meetings about stuff just so the general public. Now, I get you guys have already met to some degree on this, but that's just kind of where I'm
I'd like to interject if I can, because I am on that committee. And Tasha, I don't know if it's James on the spot, but I asked him a question in that meeting because he is the expert, the public works director. We're not.
Sure.
I'm not. How your take on this project? Remember what you said? Can you say it again?
No, I don't even remember being there. No. Basically, honestly, when Trumann did the first round, I didn't agree with it from my standpoint, but I wasn't involved. Didn't get involved with the planning and all that kind of stuff. But I see the benefits for the meters that are there, and I see the benefits, I believe, for the meters that are going to be replaced here. Like the mayor said, we've got some meters at Paneway that are 60 years old, and I think they're really inaccurate. I think they need to be replaced. The fact that we can go back, pull up records, and see when people had leaks, and I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to pay for itself like they say that it will. All the paperwork I've looked over says that it will, and that's all we've got to go by. So when you can get the new meters, get that additional revenue coming in, and as soon as possible, and I understand the emergency clause thing, but I know also that, we drag our feet with it, and the sooner we get them in, the better, and I agree with that. If we drag our feet, then we could be looking at fall or early winter or something and having to fight weather to get stuff done. No, that's not necessarily an excuse, but that's when you mentioned the emergency clause, that's what hit me, is that we need to get it done while weather cooperates. Okay.
How do these meters, for James, used to come around by hand, each person reading them?
Right.
Do we drive around, or
They have a radio transmitter that hits the water tower. It reads on every hour.
if it's got 4 inches of mud on top of it, it still work?
Yep. Now, we do have some issues where the cables come loose or whatever, but it's a matter of reconnecting. But yeah, they work underwater. They work. Yeah, they do a pretty good job.
See, the guys no more come around on their knees and sipping out water.
Right. Right.
And that's another thing as well that has been very beneficial with the ones we have now. We've had a lot of people that call or come up to the office and complain about my water bill this high and I don't have a leak, and they can bring it up on the computer 24 hours a day of how much water's been used that whole time. And they've done it enough that they can pretty much tell you, well, you probably got a commode that's leaking, or you're not filling the handle or something like that. And we even had one up and we found out that his neighbor was actually stealing his water and turning it on and left the water hose on all night long. But it was able, we were able to find it because we found it on the system, on this system.
Wow.
It's a good program, but my only concern is depleting that much of the infrastructure money all at once. That's the only concern I have.
It wasn't something that I personally recommended lightly. I've looked at that. Of course, I watched those accounts regularly, and I keep an eye on them. I want to make sure that, number one, again, $700,000 is almost 3/4 of the project, and saving that amount of money to me only made sense when that infrastructure fund's going to be replenished fairly quickly.
That much at one time.
Yeah. Well, again, anything we had to use over that amount, we're going to have to get a loan for anyway. The Clearwater tank, I've been talking with them today, as a matter of fact, working on the EDA grant, and we are hoping to go to bid on that real quick, very soon. Once we go to bid on it, once we let the bids out, things are going to start rolling fast then, or faster, because we've had to go through all of the paperwork, all of the legislation of doing this, and then, red tape, as they say. We've had to do a lot of that with the CDA grant, with the state grant. So we're getting closer to being able to actually, and we let the bid out, then as soon as 30 days is up and we get the bids in, we open the bids, then they'll be starting very quickly on rebuilding that, or building a new Clearwater tank and treatment facility. Also, we're looking at a grant that if we can get the grant, it would pretty much pay for a filtration system, whether the department says we need one or not. It's going to be set up to where we can put one in if they
did do the 20-year loan, what's the interest rate on this?
We're being recommended, right? So we don't sell financing.
Yeah.
But we have partners that are familiar with performance contract we can recommend. They tell us that when we put together these cash flows, right now, the latest we have is use a 5%, 6% interest rate, depending on the size of it. So when we were going through this process, with the mayor and Director Fagan, we said, this is what it looks like if you pay for it out of pocket. This is what it looks like with this interest rate, 5 to 6%. Now, you could get it underwritten, it might be 5.2, it might be 5.4, I don't know. You won't know until it's that offer's in front of you. But we're being told to use 5 to 6%. We're also, just to throw this out here as you're considering this project, with all the talks of tariffs, and I don't know how, if you were to read it in council, if it's 3 council meetings, we would have to go back and get additional pricing. Because the quotes last for 30 days, or 30 to 60 days. So that's the only thing I'd want to throw out there is the price that we have, we would have to go back to ourselves.
It's locked in right now.
Yeah, it's locked in.
My question, James, do we know how many residents live inside the city that are rural customers? Do we know a number on that yet?
We don't have any rural customers
Well,
anymore.
you know what I mean? If you go rural.
I say it all the time. So I just have to throw that out. Something under 400, I think, that would have been inside the city limits.
So can we do this in phases, where we take care of our city customers first before we do
Well,
everybody?
here's the thing, they're all our customers, whether they're city or not. We own all the water works.
I understand
All our
that.
customers. We have to take care of all of them.
Can I ask you a question, Councilmember? You're asking that, so we have these, call it 1,300 odd meters. Your preference is when we're installing, we start there. Because there's room to, one of the next stages, if you approve tonight, is to sit down with Director Pagan and say, where do we start? Where do you want us to focus first in priority in terms of the installation and project management thereof? So if that's a concern, we can take that in.
Well,
I think he's looking at.
I'm just looking at putting that infrastructure all in one time, because we're fixing to do it.
Well, I asked the same question in the committee meeting. What happens if the Clearwater tank goes down? You're still going to have to borrow the money. So borrow the money now, borrow the money later. Which do you want to do? By spending this money here, you're saving potentially $700,000. Why borrow a worry of having to borrow money later if the Clearwater tank does go down, when we know we can pay for this right now? I get it, but you're talking $75,000 back each quarter, $300,000 a year. I mean, I agree with using the money. I think we need to go ahead and use the money now rather than spend the money for this loan when maybe we won't have to on the Clearwater tank or anything else. It just makes sense to do it now. It also makes sense to get it done now. I get the whole emergency clause. I do. But how soon will this start? If you get this approved tonight, when will y'all start putting this in?
We've already started planning implementation on our side. We took away from the Public Works Committee that question, and we know that you're eager to get these in the ground, so we've already started some of the preliminary things we can do.
You're still looking at about 8 weeks to get somebody
But if we
on
wait
site and have materials.
for 90 more days, we're talking
New numbers.
new numbers, and we're talking more time.
And then 8 weeks from the approval, correct?
I use the analogy on this, doing it now compared to doing it later, but the real phrase is I have to use this. I've heard you say it for years. It's like killing yourself because you break down. You don't kill yourself because you're breaking down. And in this instance here, we know, yes, anything can happen,
But kind of like Karen said, we know we've got the savings now. We know that if nothing does happen, then we save 700,000 plus. Or we still got to add 59,000 that we're saving each month on that. So again, I mean, I still believe we're much better off going ahead and going with it now, getting it done, even with the emergency clause, so that we can get started, so we can start saving money, and so we can start rolling in and getting things done. Any more discussion? Ms. Holly, roll call vote, please.
Brett Parker.
4.
Bonnie Winkles. 4. Brandon Schrader.
4.
Ernie Lane.
4.
John Paul Thompson.
4.
Jason Stewart.
4.
Billy Poe.
4.
Carol Roach. 4. Candida Robinson. 4. Cindy Wood. 4.
Mayor, can I make motions to the rules and read by title only for the second and third reading?
Yes, sir. There's a motion made to suspend the rules and read by title only for second and third reading. Need a second?
Second.
Carol Roach, second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ms. Hoddy, will you read the second and third by title only, please?
Ordinance number 742-2025, an ordinance approving a contract between the City of Trumann, Arkansas, and Performance Services Incorporated for the installation of new AMI water meters as energy conservation measures for Trumann Water Works, authorizing payment from the infrastructure fund and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 742-2025, an ordinance approving a contract between the City of Trumann, Arkansas, and Performance Services Incorporated for the installation of new AMI water meters as energy conservation measures for Trumann Water Works, authorizing payment from the infrastructure fund and declaring an emergency.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Stewart made a motion.
Second.
Cindy Wood, is that Cindy?
Me.
Cindy Wood, second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Brett Parker.
4.
Bonnie Winkles. 4. Brandon Schrader.
4.
Ernie Lane.
4.
John Paul Thompson.
4.
Jason Stewart.
4.
Billy Poe.
4.
Carol Roach. 4. Candida Robinson. 4. Cindy Wood. 4.
All right, ordinance passes. Let's see. Now you've got in your packet a application for permit on, for on-premises alcohol sales and consumption for Jerry Steakhouse. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Made a motion.
I'll second.
Bonnie Winkles made a motion, John Paul Thompson second. Any discussion?
Is this something new? Had to read it or somebody?
They never had one.
Oh, they didn't?
We passed the ordinance.
They never, how many years?
We just passed the ordinance in like November
Okay.
to do this with all on-premises sales.
Okay.
So
You didn't know?
they had to apply
Okay.
and pay their permit fees and all that stuff. But y'all have to, the council has to approve these when it comes through.
I see. But that doesn't have anything to do with state word.
No.
The ABC word, that's what I was.
No, this was.
I see now, I read permit, sorry.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
All right.
I'm good.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed with no. All right. That has been approved. All right, on the next two, hold on before we do this. I promised Hazel that I would do this up front and it slipped my mind. I want to present to Hazel for her 6 years of service with the city of Trumann as a council member. highly appreciation of your 6 years of dedicated service, devotion, and commitment to the city of Trumann, Trumann City Council. Thank you for all you have done to help the community. And not only, I do want to say, not only did she work here, she worked out in the community, and she still does, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Now we'll move on.
Hang on you all.
These next two, I'm having two responses regarding the number of animals specifically. Keep in mind, like I told y'all at the very beginning, this was brought to me by citizens that asked me this question, and I brought it to discuss. I've had a few responses regarding the number of animals per citizen. I've only had one person comment that they agree with setting the number. This time, does anyone want to make a recommendation for or against this idea? And if it's for, what's the number? If not, because we have to have a resolution of ordinance to do this. I'm not going to draw one up if we don't need it. If we need it, then I'll be glad to draw one up.
So I've got a question. I mean, I'm assuming the discussion started because someone was concerned with either an animal border or someone who's running a hunting mill.
Yeah, that was a concern.
Okay.
So I told them that I would bring it to the council and let them discuss it. Y'all will have to make that decision.
It could get real interesting real quick with a pet owner. I mean, considering the fact that you have a dog stays outside, somebody has a dog gets in the pen, you could wind up having 8 or 9 dogs at your house real quick. And so I mean, meal situation, and you've got multiple breeding pairs everywhere, and that's a lot of animals and a lot of noise that could potentially cause an issue. I can see that. So I mean,
As far as the puppy mill situation, there's laws that cover those anyway, state laws that we can handle. And I'm not gonna say I'm for or against it. I mean, we talk about pets. At one time, I had 150 pigs.
That's what I was fixing to ask. Now, what kind of animals we talking
So
about?
I'm
Pets or
saying it would have
pets?
to be
It could be a
specified.
snake, it could be
We have to be
rabbit.
careful with that, because then you talk about discrimination against
Yep.
those owners. And trust me, you can ask Mr. Gasler, somebody will bring it up. But we need, one of y'all's.
Is that the only issue that we face with the puppy mill that somebody,
Well, with
Pretty
lots
much.
of animals, Again, I don't know that I'm for it or against it. I think responsible pet owners are going to take care of their pets.
right?
And they're not going to have $120 a cat if they can, if they're responsible pet owners. Now, the problem is they don't always have responsible pet owners everywhere. So, I can see both sides of it, but I also see the legality side of it, where we would have to go with that as well. Mr. Galloway, you have any input on this?
Well, I just think it's, as with most things, more complicated than what it initially sounds. You get into what is a pet, and what are you going to include as pets, and what are you not, and why are you drawing the line at this many, and why not this many. And it will be more complicated than what you think, but if y'all want to do it, we'll do it.
I say no. Deal on each situation. If we have any.
I mean, we have laws that they have to be on a leash, right, or in fence, or.
And this issue wasn't a leash issue when it come to me, but it was about having.
It's about the number of animals. It's like cats, just like Jonesboro, there's no ordinance against cats, no with dogs, you can only have 5 dogs if you live inside the city. Now how they monitor that's a whole other can of worms. I mean, you've got to have the manpower, and God love our animal control officer. She's got her hands full with what we have. I mean, it's the amount of dogs running around this cats, you can't even,
Cats, we can't
what do you?
She can't keep the dogs picked up because the pound stays full.
I know.
We empty it and within a week it's full again.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem.
And it's kind of like a jail. We can build more kennels, but we're gonna keep them full. Just like we build more jail cells, they're gonna stay full too.
Setting a limit is one thing, but being able to enforce it.
Yeah.
And
how are you gonna know how many somebody has in their house? I
You're
mean,
not.
and you're not.
Just like I
So-
know there are people in this town with pit bulls, and we have a pit bull ban. There's plenty of them. And I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. All I'm saying is it's too hard to enforce. Yeah.
That's what I was fixing to say, somebody will see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
We
just
picked
like
up a
there's
few.
people.
We've actually picked up a few pit bulls
There
because
are.
somebody
I've
thought.
seen plenty of them running around town, and it's just too hard to.
I mean, let me ask this,
Right.
the person that comes to you, did they have a magic number?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you the one that called me? Okay. I'm gonna allow her to go ahead and speak. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Melissa Crow.
Okay, Melissa.
I'm also hard of hearing, so I've not really been able to keep up with everything. So if I'm like repeating, I apologize for that.
Do you have, take the voice vote, so we need to just pass on.
Yes. I think we passed on the board.
All right, the second was, again, this was brought up by actually a couple of citizens about requiring commercial dumpsters to be enclosed. We've had a mixture of responses on this one. I know that in some locations it is an issue with trash being blown around out of those dumpsters. And I'm not talking about the regular, I'm talking about the big dumpsters. There's trash being blown out of the dumpsters, blown down the streets and in other people's yards because they're not being kept shut. They don't have lids on them, or they're getting too full, or the dogs or the cats get in them and drag stuff out. And I also know that some commercial businesses already have their dumpsters enclosed, so it's not an issue with garbage collection. And so that's what I've been hearing. Again, you can ask James. I mean, I know they don't like to have to go and pick up behind these places. And it keeps our streets because we just don't have the manpower to clean every street every day. And so it is an issue with them. Me personally, I mean, I could go either way with it. I think that we might could possibly work out something. Maybe have a resolution or ordinance that goes with if they have a commercial dumpster, they have to have a lid on it, have to keep it closed, and if they don't, and their trash gets thrown, they get a ticket. The veteran may already handle that, but I do know that if they've got the enclosure, I mean, very rarely do you go to McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken or Burger King and you see trash all over their lot that was come out of their dumpster. So I know it works. It keeps the trash inside the dumpster for the most part. There's not an issue with trucks because they've had trucks all these years getting the dumpsters and dump them. So the question is what? Because again, I got a mixed bag of thoughts on this whenever I do something next year.
Why don't we let the planning zone commission look at this, because it's going to ultimately wind up being an addendum to the code anyway. As far as that goes, so that commission can, with the help of Mr. Henry, we can pull a couple of ordinances potentially or codes from other cities close, and I can see the benefit of having an enclosed commercial dumpster. I mean, it's got to be anything, huge brick structure with an iron gate or something like that. Sometimes the man's around the thing can keep a lot of stuff from blowing around, and to Mayor's point, even having dumpsters that have lids on, that can make a big difference as well. So I'll offer up the services of the planning commission to actually review that at our next meeting, which is a week from today.
Anybody have a problem with that? Everybody okay with that? Okay. We'll let planning
council, let you guys see how we'll progress, and if not, have a resolution on that's ready to adopt.
All right, finally, I've got the mayor's report. Everyone, I hope, knows that we're almost ready to open the fire station. We'll host the ribbon cutting and open house on April the 3rd. This will be from 4 to 6 p.m. to allow people to get off work and be able to attend. It will basically be a drop-in event. Everyone's welcome. Also, next Thursday, the 20th, Quail Run Nursing Home will have a ribbon cutting and grand opening. I toured the center last week, and I'm greatly impressed. Very, very nice. This event will also be between 4 and 6 p.m. and be a drop-in. If you get a chance, I urge you to attend it or go by and look at it, take a tour of the nursing home. I think you'll be impressed with it as well. I have applied for the next round of RDOT City Street Aid. As you know, we got $300,000 in 2023 approved. The streets still haven't been paved yet, but they're supposed to be done. The bids have already been let out, it's already been accepted, and those streets are going to get done hopefully this summer, or even spring would be even better. And what I was told was that the street aid has gone up to $400,000 instead of $300,000, so that will be even better. I have turned in over 3 miles of city streets, the worst streets that need to be overlaid. And yes, everybody can say my street needs it, and I'm sure it probably does, but we look at the worst ones, and that's the one we're going to try to hit first. Deputy Director Coyne and I and Director Pagan looked at all the city streets, and these are the ones that we pretty much agreed on. So hopefully we can get that. We are scheduled again to have Autumn Pass, Summer, East Main, Birch, part of Melton, part of Pine, and part of Whitlatch overlay. And again, hopefully that'll be this spring or summer. The Chamber of Commerce banquet will be held on March the 31st at 6 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the office by talking to Bob Sal. Attorney General Tim Griffin will be the keynote speaker. There are several bills that are being presented in legislation that I'm tracking. These bills will have a direct impact on the city. I've been talking with our legislators, including Mr. Gazaway, even though he's not our representative. He understands where he's at. But we've been discussing these, and hopefully with the Municipal League's help and the NEA Mayor's Caucus, we're all working together to keep an eye on these and talking to our legislators and senators. We don't have time to go into just a bunch of them, and we're going to have to talk for a while on these to know that we are watching these. And then finally, April the 12th will be Resurrection Rally 2. This is a free concert for the public. It'll be at the TRC building. Doors are open at 4:30, and this is again a free concert. Artists performing will be Brandon Heath, Ryan Stevenson, Renee, and Griffin Evans. And there's a little home touch in there as well. So everyone's invited to that. And that's all I have. Any open public comments?
I'd say one thing, but
It's not anybody.
Well, it was just on this Crow.
Oh, okay. Ms. Crow, did you have anything else to say?
I'm sorry.
Did you have anything else to say?
Basically what I said is all I had to say. I mean, I am interested in what we can do about the strays and it's going to be, there's no easy solution to it. Nobody's going to be completely happy. I learned that with my Facebook post today. But I can debate with people without being like feisty, but it was a whole thing, but I'm not worried about that. But, you know, I'm trying to start up a TNO program to not just for Trumann, but for everywhere. And I really hope that we can somehow get back to working with the rescues in the area because they actually do the work. You know, if I had it my way, y'all wouldn't have to be involved in anything at all except the criminal part of black animal abuse. abuse and cruelty and
I wish
things
you
like
had your way.
Yeah.
But I will say this, we've got a, animal control officer that.
She's amazing.
works hard.
Yeah, she works very hard, and I wish there was more we could do for her, and I wish that, I mean, I don't know how to help her any more than I already do, short of building those relationships with the rescues and things like that, and expanding the services. I mean, where do we stand on getting her some help? Like, what's the cost of that? What can we do to help with
Well,
that?
we have already discussed with, and she even works with the rescue missions.
Yes.
And we have also been working on, up north, they are apparently dog deprived, and we have to have them, they have to be spayed or neutered, and have to have shots. Well, somebody's got to pay for that. We can't pay for $400 to be spayed or neutered, to be sent up north.
Right.
But, you know, we have companies that will come and transport those dogs up north.
Right. Yeah, that's an important thing too. We need that for the community too, because one of the biggest comments today was on that post was there's nothing local. There's not a spay or neuter clinic that's local. And the closest one was like in Mark City.
Well,
But,
Trumann Animal Clinic will do it, but it costs money.
It does. It costs money. That's the other thing too. But you know, there's tons of grants and stuff, and we have a part-time grant writer now, right, at the office. Yeah, that's something that should 100% be looked into, because there's like the Bishop Foundation, Petco, PetSmart. They all have, and they support like big time spay and neuter clinics. You know.
I will have him to look into that and have Randy look into it as well. All right.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
we do have Free Tree Friday scheduled for April the 25th from 10 to 2 at the mayor's office.
Okay. Free Tree Friday, April the 22nd.
25th.
April 25th from 10 to 2. You can come out of the office and get a tree to plant in your yard.
I got one thing to say before we discuss. I guess some of y'all wasn't here when I first got here, but I talked to the mayor, getting back to the fire station. I'm going to be put on the agenda for next month, Ms. Toddy. I'm going to draw up a resolution or whatever we need to do. I'll get with whoever. But in recognition of Rick Winkles' you don't know, January 28, 2014 is the worst day of our life. In this new fire station, the mayor said a while ago that he has no part of it. I'll tell you what, he does. He gave his life for this city. I think somewhere in that department or somewhere on them grounds. And I talked with Revis Kemper, and I talked with Miss Winkles. And Revis is really, really passionate about maybe putting some kind of plaque or bronze, some statue or something around the new flagpole, get you, Bubba.
Let me make sure to understand completely, and you might have misunderstood. I didn't say Ricky didn't have no part of this new station. Ricky was a big part of the old station, and Rick and I were friends, and I 100% support doing something in recognition of Rick on the station. But now, as far as the new fire station itself, the whole station being dedicated strictly to Rick, I think we need to look into it. I'm not saying that I disagree with it or agree with it, but I do agree that we do need something recognizing Rick without a doubt, because he was a vital part of this community, not just the city of Trumann, but all of Poinsett County. And so, I mean, I've always respected Rick and believe that we need to do something. I want to make that clear, so that people think that I said he didn't have nothing to do with this. He does. I'm just saying that a brand new station, I don't know that it needs to be solely dedicated to one person. You know, we had, 3 or 4 firemen that actually rode out the tornado hanging on and stuff inside that station when it was blown away. And they were there to protect. They didn't stay there when it was over. They went out looking for people and helping. So, you know, there's a lot to look at. And again, I'm 100% behind recognition for poles or the flag poles and the sign, and having some kind of a statue or a monument or something there, I'm all about it. But I don't want to misconstrue, and I definitely don't want Monty to think that I was pushing him out and saying he didn't have nothing to do, because that's not what I was talking about.
I just wanted to be brought up, you know. I'd love to have something done.
I think that we can get the fire department rebuild committee together and get the fire chief and whether the firemen together and discuss it, and then bring something to the council, to the table, to.
I will be part of that.
Okay.
But I was a firefighter with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that were firefighters with him, and I understand that.
I know that.
And I agree with you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that before we spend a lot of time in here discussing it, let's bring something to the table that